Hi everybody, this is Alice, Bejeweled Hedgehog, and I'm here for another vlog, 2 nights in a row. I am tired yet again. I would love to come on and do a vlog and say, wow, I'm clear-headed and my thoughts are organized and I am full of energy. But if that ever happens, you will know that it's actually a pod person talking to you, and aliens have invaded and, turned me into one or something, because that just doesn't seem to be me. Anyway, I just wanted to say hello, thank you everybody for commenting, boy, this is really coherent. Oh, okay. I did a video. I just uploaded a video showing my saw journal. And I have pictures in it of my nieces. I'm always talking about my nieces in my vlogs. But since I was really just showing an art journal challenge, I didn't want to, have people have to sit through pictures of, look, here's Ducky, here's Bean. But I figure if you, have actually followed the, the vlogs, you've heard me ramble about them so much, you might actually kind of want to see a couple of their pictures at least. So here is one of my favorites. I don't know how to do it without getting the terrible glare on it. But you see 3 little girls standing in the water, and the one on this one right, okay. Coordination lacking time. This one right here is Beanie, and the middle one is Cat, and this one is Duck. And they were small, and my sister had, this just shows their personalities so clearly. My sister had told them, you can wade, but try and hold up your skirts and keep them out of the water. So there is Beanie, the oldest, and she's kind of got it down pretty well. She's holding it up, keeping it out of the water, but she's not overdoing it. There is Cat in the middle, who has decided her skirts aren't going to go anywhere near that water, to the point where she's showing her panties to anyone who might want to see. And then there is little Ducky at the end, who is kind of, fumbling with her skirt, figuring she's supposed to do something with it, but she doesn't know quite what, so of course it is wet. So anyway, I just think that's hilarious. Here is my niece Cat. I'm trying to get it where there's no glare. My niece Cat coming down a sliding board, and I love this one because she looks like a little troll coming out of a cave, in my opinion. And this picture I think is so funny because this is Ducky when she was really, really little. And then that is actually me. That's what I used to look like about 10 years ago before I got quite so chubby. Were there any other cute... Oh, here's one that I think is just hilarious, where Beanie designed her hairdo. She was much too small to actually give someone a, do her hair. But I was putting her barrettes in, and she wanted every barrette she owned put in. So I did her hair that way. And then she was taking fistfuls of hair and tried to style mine. So that's me over here. And that is when she, that is the hairstyle. I did it, but she directed. And then here's something funny. That is me 10 years ago. That's my sister. Much, much thinner. Look at that smooth, perfect bob that required, of course, blow drying. And I used to wear contacts all the time. And I used to do pretty much full face makeup, regardless of what it was. Kid party, just another day at the office. And, it wouldn't be like dressy, fancy makeup, but I actually used to, every morning, get up and style that bob with the blow dryer, because there's really no way to get it so smooth like that and then have it curl under just so without a blow dryer. When you just get out of the shower and let it air dry, at least my hair would never do what it was supposed to do. And of course I wanted to make sure that I had no blemishes showing, even skin tone. So even if I didn't have on, a lot of fancy eyeshadow, I used to actually do the whole, cover up the blemishes, cover up the circles, do the foundation, put on the mascara because my eyelashes don't show up that well every single day unless I was staying at home. Nah, not anymore. I need to lose the weight, and I will eventually lose the weight. But for whatever reason, I just got sick of it. I realized the quality of my life was not any better when I went to all the trouble to, I wouldn't say necessarily look better, but well, look more groomed, aim towards that magazine standard, where you're supposed to have the skin that is unblemished and, the right creamy color and blah, blah, blah. And as I got older and busier with the nieces, and I just realized that it really didn't make any difference. So I quit. It is still fun to put on makeup for special occasions when I have time, usually on the weekends, just to play with it, just to have fun. But my perceptions of myself have changed kind of dramatically. And I'm not sure whether it would be considered a good thing or not. I mean, you could say now I've gotten much more sloppy and slovenly. Oh well. Yeah, it's really funny because my self-image has changed so much since I became an auntie. I have always had, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to admit this, actually. It's very embarrassing. Even as an adult, I had really terrible issues with self-esteem and self-confidence. And I tried very hard to hide it. There's this saying, like, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, then it is a duck. I am probably the only one out there that could walk like a duck and talk like a duck, but I never managed to become one. I knew that it was appropriate to portray self-confidence and assertiveness, and I adapted a demeanor of, being actually very different than the way that I felt. If I was meeting someone, I would just very confidently say, "Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you. I'm Alice." When inside, I wanted to just, find a nice quiet corner and curl up in it. And for a long time, my self-esteem was so linked to meeting these standards and these goals. I never measured myself against anything real, like what the other people around me actually looked like. I was always looking at magazines, or, I'd never have been that much of a TV watcher, really, but, the general, the unrealistic standard, I guess, which is why I made it up into my 40s pretty much putting in contacts every day, except of course when my allergies were absolutely killing me, and making sure that even if I didn't want to wear it, would take the time to wear makeup to be pretty. I had this baseline standard that I felt that I had to meet. I had to have skin that did not have blemishes. It was wrong to have skin with blemishes. And very, very concerned that I would not be accepted if I didn't come as close to this imaginary ideal that I had as possible. I'm always falling short of it. I fall very, very short of it. And I felt that I was not going to be liked because of it. And so I have gone through a very large portion of my life being very embarrassed about what I looked like and how I felt. For instance, I work in IT. I'm sure I've said this in my other vlogs, but I'm just not that interested in it. I really like, I do my job. I try and do it very well. I try and keep abreast of things. But when I come home, that's it. I really don't want anything more to do with it. And I guess particularly in this area, like there's the, what do they call it? The I-270 technology corridor and all the Beltway bandits and all the high-tech firms and all this stuff. And it just seems like whenever I meet people or I'm around people, everyone wants to identify themselves based on their career. I mean, that's what you say. You know, hi, I'm John, I'm a cardiologist. Hi, I'm Alice, I'm an IT project manager. And then you never get into anything but that. People talk about their jobs all the time. And if I ever want to pop up and say, oh, well, you know, I just really do it because, you know, I need to get paid. I need to get money from something. And I'm not a great football player, you know, or an actress, so, you know, I had to scrounge up something else. Yeah, it's just really, so I always felt very awkward and very embarrassed. Oh God, I'm rambling, and very, very out of place. But the funny thing is, when my nieces came along, I think it was really the first time I was just accepted for being me. I mean, these little babies, Auntie loved them, they loved Auntie. Auntie played with them, they played with Auntie. They had no conception of any of these societal standards that I'm supposed to be striving for and aiming for and achieving. They had no clue. I was a little chubbier when they were born, you know, when they were very small, and then I hit a phase where I was doing the Atkins diet and going to the gym every day. And I remember one day Kat climbed onto my lap and was like poking at me. And, you know, she scowled and she said, Auntie, where's your big squishy tummy? So here I am getting all this kudos from society because, you know, I dropped 30 or 40 pounds, which back then was all I needed to drop. And, you know, here's my niece who sees me as a fun, cuddly auntie, wondering where the tummy went and not approving at all, and letting me know in no uncertain terms, eat more, I want your tummy to come back. So this is kind of the weird thing that I'm going through right now. I defined myself as an auntie. And when I did that, I got so much more confidence because they liked me as me. And I started being more comfortable with me as me. And, you know, I come on here on YouTube and I talk about all the stuff I like, the books and the yarn and the art and the just everything or anything. And I don't worry about what I look like or whether I can, you know, am I presenting myself as an acceptable person? Are my achievements lofty enough, you know, to gain your acceptance? If you don't like what I've achieved, find another channel. I don't mean to be rude. But anyhow, yeah, and I don't think I could ever have gotten that way until I became Auntie Alice. And Auntie Alice feels useful and needed and loved and all this super good stuff. And then recently, things have been changing a little bit. I mean, when they're little kids, they need you all the time. They need you for everything. They want you for everything. And now they're hitting their teenage years. Ooh. And one particular day, I wrote about it in my journal. It was the first time in their lives I had ever just decided to go home. And like, here's kind of the backstory to that. I had gone over and I had taken dropped Raph, Ducky, over at a friend's house to play. And then I had gone back because the thing is, you know, I'm just always at my sister's house hanging out, interacting with my nieces. And this was like a couple of weeks ago. And the middle niece, Kat, had a friend over, and they were down in the basement, you know, in the playroom, family room, whatever, doing inscrutable, you know, 13-year-old things and giggling and laughing and carrying on. And unlike when they were small kids and they would kind of not care if I was sitting there sort of supervising them, in fact, they liked to have me around because I could help them with things. I remember there were these dolls. I know this is kind of off the subject, but I hated these dolls. I wanted to get blowtorches and melt them. They were called Polly Pockets. They were very small plastic dolls, I guess. But they weren't like the round baby dolls. They were like small teenage or female, you know, skinny arms and legs dolls. And they had also plastic clothes. Can you believe it? And it was kind of cool because their hair could come on and off and you could change their hair and everything. And they came in all these cute little sets, like Polly Pocket with her pets, Polly Pocket in a kitchen. But those Polly Pocket clothes were so hard to take on and off by the age group they were targeted to. So you have no idea how many hours I just sat around with my nieces and their friends, and they would pick out the Polly Pocket outfits or accessories, and it would be Auntie who peeled off hideous little plastic clothes and squished them down into the new plastic clothes. So anyway, I was just always interacting with them. And homework for grade school kids is pretty basic. You can sit down and, unless it's, some big elaborate project that they've been supposedly working on for several weeks and they don't tell you about it until the night before it's due, and you have to do this diorama of, like Columbus discovering America in one evening, pretty much it can be over within an hour, if you just walk them through it. So I've always been a useful auntie. Well, not anymore. The older two are teenagers, and they're homeschooled. They have their internet lessons. They also have some classes that they take from tutors and things, like language classes and religion classes that they go to. So no more really do I help them to the same extent, and their homework also lasts a lot longer. And they're doing a lot of it on the internet, and they don't need me. They can put the plastic clothes on their own Polly Pockets now. I mean, not that they play with Polly Pockets, but yeah, I mean, it's so funny because when I started my art journal, they've all been very interested in art, and they've all taken various art classes as after-school activities, and when they go away to sleepaway camp, they go to like an arts camp where they can, choose I guess, what do you call it, visual arts, drawing and painting and stuff, or dance or whatever. And they've always gone for the, the drawing and painting kind of art. So they're telling me how to do things. They're telling me about perspective, or, you make it more blue-gray in the background, and to show distance and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. It wasn't too long ago when I was explaining that the roof goes on top of the house. So I'm just feeling kind of funny. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so on that particular day, Ducky was at a friend's house. Kat had one of her little friends over, and Beanie was in her room doing some internet lessons, because since they're homeschooled, they kind of study all year round, but they take breaks as it's convenient for them rather than being on the regular summer schedule. So anyway, and suddenly I realized that nobody particularly needed me, nobody wanted to interact with me, and I wanted to come home and play with my art toys rather than just sit there. I mean, one of the reasons that I took up crocheting was because I had to make jewelry here. It's really a pain to cart jewelry supplies around. So I did it so that I could have something to do while I was over there with them. And I was just sitting there, and I realized nobody's interacting with me, nobody needs me. I don't feel like just sitting in my sister's house. I want my own music, all the music I download onto my computer. I want YouTube. It's not very convenient to watch YouTube at her house. I might want to stream Netflix. I want my own books. So I actually made the choice to come home. And I felt funny because, I think since they've been born, I've never done that. And on Sunday, they all wanted to go to the movies. They wanted to go see Brave. And I'm getting kind of old and cranky. I don't really like movie theaters so much anymore. I much prefer to watch DVDs or stream, because I'm in my own comfortable little chair, this lovely, beloved chair here with my little comfy shawl over the back. Oh, I'll have to show you this. I've never shown you this before. Everybody has Afghans on the backs of their chairs. This is my shawl. It is, of course, Milland cotton yarn, which I strongly believe, based on the color. In fact, I know based on the color that it's Lily Sugar and Cream. And it just folds over the back. Then whenever I get chilly or just, sort of tired and want something comfy, I just pull it off and wrap it around me. Yeah, I never did show anybody that. I've looked at everybody. I've seen everybody else's, you know, like blankets and things on the backs of sofas and chairs. But wow, here you go. Here's mine. So anyhow, yeah, I think this is actually one of the only shawls I've ever made for myself. Most of them go to my niece Kat, who loves the drama of just throwing them around herself. Anyhow, all right. Oh, this is bad. I've totally lost track of what I was saying. So yeah, I don't like movie theaters as much because I'm much more physically comfortable here. I can stop and pause it. You know, kind of it's like if you're seeing it in a movie theater and you have to pee, that's just too bad. You have to make a choice. Sit there with your legs crossed really, really, really tight, or lose some of the movie. Here, you just hit the pause button. I have my own food instead of those nasty nachos that they have at the movie theaters. Yeah. And the other thing is, the movie theater people, at least in every movie theater I've ever been to, they don't seem to grasp that the climate control is meant to make people comfortable. They seem to see it as it's supposed to be the exact opposite by many orders of magnitude to whatever the temperature is outside. So, in the winter, it is burning hot. You know, you walk out of there and you've broken a sweat and the air is dry and your eyelid, at least my eyes are always dry and stick together. Inside of my nose feels icky. And in the winter, it's like walking into a freezer. I mean, I've never actually been in a meat freezer, but I sort of suspect it's not that different than a movie theater in the summer. And the noise is so, so loud. Seriously, seriously loud. I mean, I like to listen to my music pretty loud in my car, or at least I think. But I have been in the movie theater and I have come out and my ears have kind of hurt. So yeah, the cranky old lady really doesn't enjoy movie theaters, and it's kind of sad. There are a few that I go to. But, you know, really, if I have a choice, I'd much rather just wait till it comes out on DVD or Netflix. And, yeah, so I did something this Sunday I've never done before. I just said, you know what, I don't really want to go. You guys go. I stayed home. And on one hand, I feel happy because I'm making choices to either not do something I don't like, and also, you know, replacing that something I'd really rather not do with something I enjoy doing, which this weekend happened to just be laying around and doing nothing. Lots of, you know, piddling. But I hadn't done that for years because there would always be somebody who would be scared and want their hand held or want to sit on my lap. And now I feel kind of funny. It's like fun to sort of make choices for myself, but it's kind of scary. It's like, who am I now? What am I? Obviously, I'm still Auntie, and they still love me, and I still love them, and I spent the past 2 evenings with Ducky. And Kat is coming over this weekend because I rented what looks like a really cool Tempest, you know, Shakespeare's The Tempest on DVD for her through Netflix. And she loves Shakespeare. She loves, of course, you know, the drama and beauty of the language. And she likes to read it in these books where they have the Shakespearean English in one column and then the contemporary English in the other, so you can follow the beauty of the language but still understand what's going on. So anyway, she's coming over to see that on Sunday. But yeah, I just feel sort of funny. I mean, I'll always be Auntie, but I'm kind of a different Auntie now. I'm floating untethered in the ether, not quite sure. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah. So, on the crafty note, once I get over sorry, I'm doing these strange musings about life again. Yeah, I was all set. I was crocheting those little summer scarves and really getting ready to finish up a gift for my sister Charmaine's daughter, and work on the bag from the Craftville. It's called, or Craftyville. Oh boy. It used to be Crafty People, the swap of patterns and yarn thing. I did something like that. Anyhow, so my sister calls, and this evening, this is why I'm now holding this big ball of pink Lion Brand Pound of Love yarn, because she said, the girl's Hebrew teacher had a baby. Did you know that? And I'm like, well, actually, no. The girls had talked about how she was going to have a baby, but they hadn't given me any sort of, timeline on it. And apparently she had it like a couple of weeks ago. So this vague notion that at some point, because they never actually told me a time, I was going to want to make a gift for her. So it was kind of lurking in the back of my mind. Oh, I'm going to make a baby thing sometime soon. Oh, the baby's here. The baby's waiting for its present. Her present, actually. It's a girl. So I'm going to make a blanket, and that's fine. Baby blankets work up pretty quickly. And actually, I'm sending my sister out to buy some sport weight baby yarn because I have a pattern for an extremely frou-frou baby girl dress. And I know a lot of people don't like pink, and think, some people just seem to have this thing against dressing baby girls in pink. I don't like the idea that you force a color on a baby due to gender, but there is something about the fluffy, frilly, rosy, flowery, lacy, ruffly pinkness of some of this baby stuff that I am just enamored with. So when it is a baby girl, you can usually count on me to give the frou-frou thing. And because I just like it. I like baby pink. I like ballet pink. I took ballet a lot when I was a kid. I had the little ballet pink, the pink ballet shoes and little pink tights, little black leotard. Anyhow, okay, enough of that. So hopefully I'll have this all ready by next week's cast-off cruise, so you will actually have a cast-off video. And this is enough. Yeah, I've been absent from Vlogland for a while, and I guess now I'm back with a bang. I did not realize I talked for 26 minutes. I'm not going to apologize because that just seems to be what I do. So anyway, everybody have a very great night, and I will probably talk to you tomorrow.